Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to sit down and do a pretty massive Sephora haul. I'm a little bit overwhelmed because I haven't done a Sephora haul on my channel in probably a record amount of time. I actually ended up, unfortunately, in the hospital recently, last month. It's a whole story, but I had to call the ambulance. Then I got transferred to another hospital because I had an abnormal CT scan. And then I had to do more testing, a surgery, the whole bit. So I had to come home and kind of keep myself calm. And I've been following up with my doctors, but everything's okay. Basically, it was something called an artifact where a CT scan or some sort of scan sees something that's not there. It's just essentially a malfunction of the machine, or I moved, or whatever the case may be. So it was a really scary few days, but I'm happy to say that everything's okay. But I did need to take some time off to kind of decompress because I do have some lingering anxiety from the whole situation. But I'm not gonna drone on about that too long. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know. I did make a community tab post, but I feel like a lot of people may not see that. So that is a little bit of an update, but I have a ton of stuff to share with you guys. I honestly don't know if I'm going to include everything because when I tell you it's about 60 items, I'm literally not joking. So I might just do like half and half. We'll see, because I don't want this to be like over 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dig into this huge basket of products, and I'm just gonna share with you what I'm most excited about, and we'll see how far I get. Of course, I will link everything that I share today down below in my description box, as well as the makeup that I am wearing. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you like these Sephora hauls, if you like big Sephora hauls, give this video a thumbs up. And let's go ahead and get into what I have picked up at Sephora recently, and it's a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with some gift sets because I did buy quite a few, and when I'm looking at these, I'm realizing that I have a lip problem because pretty much every set that I bought is some sort of lip balm, lip gloss, lip oil. I need some help, okay? I need some therapy because I didn't realize this until I grabbed everything for this haul. So apologies for that, but let's start off with the Summer Fridays lip kits. So this is the Mini Neutrals Lip Butter Balm set. I had to pick this up because I do have quite a few of the Summer Fridays lip balms, and I really like them. They are a really pretty formula to wear during the day because they do have a little bit of a tint to them, and that's something I really like about them. I feel like a lot of people love this because it's not sticky. It gives your lips a nice hydration. So this has vanilla beige, iced coffee, and brown sugar in it. They are mini sizes, but I think this is perfect because you really are going to throw one in your bag, one in your car, one in your nightstand. I use this on the go, and fun fact, when I was in the hospital, the only lip balm that I had with me at the hospital was from Summer Fridays. It was the really nice pink shimmery one, so I just slathered that on because it was a rough go. I was looking pretty much like I got hit by a semi truck. So this saved me because my lips felt so dry as well. So I really love this set. This is great too for stocking stuffers, or if you have, teachers you need to buy for, or a bunch of family members. So highly recommend checking that out. Also, I love this formula. This is the K-Skin. These are the Isle Lip Balms. Now these are special because they have SPF. These are a little bit thicker and a little bit more pigmented than the Summer Fridays. Very high shine, and they last forever. So it has the clear in here, and then you also have the Ivory Rose and also Nude Ting. Just beautiful colors, again, much more pigmented. So this is something that kind of gives you that really glossy, popsicle lip look. I love this. I already have, I think each of these shades, but I wore them all summer when I was out back and I was spending time outside in the sun. So highly recommend this if you're looking for an SPF lip balm. These are very, very hydrating as well. These sort of remind me formula-wise of the Ole Henriksen, but maybe a little bit thicker even, but I love a thick balm. So highly recommend this. When I saw this set, I was like, this has to be mine. I did also pick up this little wet set from Kosas. truly because I wanted this shade in the middle. So these are limited edition sheer shades, and this was 25 bucks. They are mini sizes, but I feel like for 25 bucks, 3 different colors, I'm all about it. So I want to pull this out and swatch the lighter shade for you. I am going to put swatches on the screen of everything. I just don't want to have to like pull out all of these products because we have a lot to go over. So this definitely is sheer. Now this formula from Kosas, I do like it. It's not like my top favorite. It's more of a thin formula. I do like usually something thicker, but I know a lot of people don't like that. And these are really pretty because they do have like that wet, glossy look. I'm gonna pull out this red. Definitely a sheer formula, almost like a sheer, say like a jelly formula. But I want to see how this pink one looks on the lips. I do already have a really light pink lipstick on. It just adds a little bit of shine, nothing too crazy. I just got sucked in to this baby pink shade. I am like all about baby pink glosses. So again, I have a problem with lip products because I also grabbed this. Now this is the Too Faced Pillow Balm Ultra Plush Duo. So I love this formula. This used to be like my ride or die favorite lip balm ever, and I still do use it. I'm actually just running out of one of my watermelon. So this is a holiday kit with 2 special shades. So the first one is Ice Crystal, and then this one is interesting. It's called Midnight Crystal. Now this is more of a balm. So I would say not as glossy as like any of these other lip balms that you see in the squeezy tubes. This is more of like a treatment, something that I wear when my lips are dry. Like this is something I have by my nightstand. So this one is like a shimmery blue, and it smells almost like a blue raspberry. It's stunning. Like it smells so good. You can see it here. It just has a little bit of shimmer. And then the Midnight Crystal that is like kind of like that trendy black gloss. I think it has the same, does it have the same scent? No, this one smells more like grape. They smell really, really good though. So I thought I would pick this up. I'm not even sure that this is available at Sephora, but I know I got it like on Ulta or something like that. So I'm just gonna link it, and I thought I would include it because we're just kind of going over all the things. I did pick up one more lip set, I know, but I could not resist. So this is the Sephora Moving Lights Outrageous Lip Plumping Gloss Kit. So you get 3 different shades. I already know I love this formula, and I just think the price is really good on Sephora collection. So these are a little bit of a thicker formula, but they're very, very shiny, and they do have plumping in them. I would say it's pretty subtle, kind of comparable to maybe Buxom, maybe a smidge more, but this red shade just looks so pretty. And then you do get kind of like a sparkly pink, and then also almost like an iridescent shade in there. I've just had, you know, many moments of weakness, but they're just a really beautiful high shine formula. One of my favorite products from Sephora collection in general. Now I have one more set. This isn't really like a gift set kind of, but I'm wearing one of the products right now, and that is the Patrick Ta and Barbie collaboration. So we all knew that I was gonna pick this up. So it comes as a kit, and then inside you get one of his glosses, and then you get one of his blush duos. So the blush duo is She's a Barbie Doll, and I'm wearing it right now. I did the powder, and then I did the cream on top. It looks really intimidating in the actual pan. Like I was like, whoa, it just seems really intimidating. And I feel like maybe the powder is even more like in your face than the actual cream. But this formula is one of my favorites. You guys know I have raved about this formula so many times. So you can kind of layer these any way you want to, but what makes this special is it actually does work beautifully, and Patrick Ta suggests using the powder first and then the cream on top, and it is stunning. So I'm wearing it today. It is definitely very pigmented. I do feel like it's one of those that you need a light hand, and you need to be, you know, a little bit mindful of your placement. If you're fair, you may want to use like a super fluffy brush. And then there also is this lip gloss. Now this is in Malibu Dream House. I love this formula, but my only complaint is that this is super sheer. You really aren't going to see much of that like Barbie pink. So I would have liked this to have like, I don't know, 20% more pigment just to really give you that like Barbie feel. This gloss is a little bit of a thicker formula. It does plump. It has a really nice like minty scent. So I love this formula. Just wish this would have been a little bit more pigmented. Jumping around a little bit, let's talk about some products that I'm wearing right now. So I did pick up the Milk Hydra Grip Glow Primer. I was really intrigued by this because it had this really pretty glow online that kind of reminded me of, let's say, the Drunk Elephant glow drops that I really love. So this is what it swatches like, and this is sort of this strange feel because it does have that like gripping texture to it. When you first pump it out, it's a little bit more like Tin Man than I would have expected. It's definitely very gold. But as it dries down, it does have that really sticky, tacky feel. This is something that I feel like I do try to limit it to like the tops of my cheekbones and my forehead. I don't necessarily feel comfortable putting this like all over on my pore area, but I am wearing it today. You can see it's tacky. So I do think if you love the original Grip Primer, but you just want something that has like illuminating properties to it, this definitely is that. It doesn't have any more hydration. It truly feels like the same type of formula, except it has this like gold glimmer in there. So it's gonna be a personal preference type of thing, but I am enjoying it. I don't know if I'm like, you need it right now, but I do think it's nice. Now on top of that, I ended up picking up another of the Huda Beauty Easy Blur foundation. So they sent me PR. I did a first impressions and I've been really, really enjoying this, but the shades they sent me were a little bit lighter. So I went ahead and picked up the shade Custard, which is 220N. So I'm wearing that today, and this formula is just really beautiful for me and my combo skin. I just find this to be blurring, long wearing, but it's not super heavy. A lot of like matte foundations or blurring foundations, long wear foundations tend to be like an Estee Lauder double wear or something super matte that can be a little bit heavy. You have to add in hydration. And this one is sort of like right in the middle. It's just like a lightweight version of that. So I feel like it's just beautiful for every day because it doesn't feel like a mask, but it gives you the coverage that you want. You can build it up. It makes you look flawless. You can really make it into like a glam type of foundation, and it wears beautifully. So I really have been enjoying this. So I just wanted to get myself a deeper shade so that I can kind of mix when I do have more of a tan. I did also splurge and pick up the new Givenchy highlighter. So this is for holiday. It's the limited edition Prism Libre highlighter. Is it Prism? Prism, yes. Prism, wow. I just kind of had like a moment where I was like, is it Prisme? No, Prism Libre highlighter. So this is in the shade 14, and they do this every holiday. They release one of these highlighters, and I typically pick it up. So this year it has like a really light, almost like white highlighter, and then it also has like a rose gold. If you swatch it on your finger, it looks pretty light, but it kind of depends on how much of each powder you grab. If you get more of like the rose gold, it kind of gives you that champagne sort of look. And then if you get more of the white, it has that like really icy reflectiveness. So this is super intense. I actually applied it and was like, whoa, and had to go back over with my blush brush. So if you like blinding, I think you would like this. I know last year they did, I think it was like a pink one, and this one is definitely more wearable, but it is very, very icy. So just keep that in mind. And on my eyes, I am late to the game, but I've been enjoying this palette off camera. So this is the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm eyeshadow palette. I didn't even get to review it because, I don't know, life was just crazy. But of course I picked it up, and look how gorgeous this is. So today I honestly just mixed this and this all over my crease and like on my inner and outer corner. And then I just tapped this on the center, and I think I mixed in a little bit of this shade. Just tapped it on and I was good to go. This is kind of like the I Need a Nude warm version, which is my favorite palette. So if you're a warm eyeshadow lover, I think you would love this. And honestly, Natasha's palettes are some of my favorite palettes ever. Like, I just love the direction she's going with this. So I could not miss it, even though I wasn't able to do a review. Highly recommend this. I reach for it all the time just because I'm a neutral girly at heart. And while we're on the topic of palettes, I have a couple more to mention. So I did end up picking up the Urban Decay Moondust palette. I just love how beautiful and glittery these shades are. And truthfully, I would just reach into like a Natasha palette or my Master Mattes from Makeup by Mario and then just pop one of these shades on my lid. So you have a mixture of, I think it's 3 toppers. And then I think this brown shade is kind of like more of a metallic. You can see it here, but they are just so beautiful and glittery. They're just perfect for putting on the center of your lid and giving you a little bit of something. And I thought that this was just such a cute little palette that I could keep top drawer. So I know they came out with another one actually after I purchased this. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's kind of like the shape of a star, which I really don't love, but it has some mattes in there as well. So if you want like a curated palette with the mattes, that's an option. But for me, I have so many matte formulas, and honestly, I could just like throw on a bronzer in the crease and then pat one of these on the lid, and that would be like an easy look for me. So glad I picked this up. And I also picked up from Dior this palette. Now, I have not used this yet, and I'm a little bit wary on if this is going to stand up to the original Universal palette that I love from them. So this is the Backstage Glow Face Palette, and this is in Celestial Glow. So the original palette they came out with was my favorite. Like, I've hit pan. It is holy grail status. Then they came out with one, I think, called like Glitz, and it was just like glittery. It wasn't the same, and I really didn't love it. So this one, looking at it, I feel like there's a mixture here. So this top shade is really glittery and chunky. It almost feels, I don't know, like it's kind of giving me like, what is it? Like 24 karat diamond or diamond dust from Fenty. You know, my brain is not working with me today, but you know what I'm talking about, that really icy topper. But then you have this like peach shade that is way more subtle, and I would dare to say even like more subtle than the original. Let me swatch that again because I think I messed that up. Yeah, like the original palette had way more glow to it. So it's kind of weird because you have like this more subdued peach shade, then you have this really, really intense glittery shade. Now we've got a pink shade, which seems most similar to me to like the original palette, just more of that like high shine, you know, no glitter formula. And then you have this blue kind of iridescent shade, which again sort of has that sheer glittery feel. So I'm a little bit, I don't know, just looking at these swatches, I just feel like I wish they would have stuck with their beloved 001 Universal palette and just done every formula in this, like the high shine, just smooth metallic highlight. So I haven't tried it on my face yet. I can't really give like my full thoughts, but it's just one of those that I purchased without, you know, waiting on reviews, and all I could see was the photos online. And I just think, unfortunately, I don't know if this is gonna be worth the hefty price tag. And while we're on the topic of highlighters, I purchased yet another luxury brand highlighter. So I could not resist this, and I'm excited to try this. This is the Gucci Frosted Lilac Highlighter. This, upon swatching it, like, look at that shine. Oh my goodness, this feels so soft and silky. Now, I haven't used this yet because I want to save these products for trying new makeup, but I was toying between this and more of a neutral shade. Part of me wishes I would have got the more neutral shade because I would have worn it more, but this one just looks so pretty, and I do wear like neutral makeup most of the time. The only thing I will say is that the packaging is a little bit light. I wish it was a little bit more hefty, kind of like the bronzer. So the packaging is not my favorite. It's not horrible by any means, but it is just a little bit light for the price tag, but the formula inside feels super promising. Now, while we're on the topic of super expensive makeup, let's just dive into some other things that I purchased. So I got sucked into this, and I don't know how I feel about this. If you've tried this, let me know. But this is the Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder from Armani. So I got the shade 100, and this just seems really glittery or glowy. It's not glittery, but glowy, almost to the point of just kind of enhancing texture, more specifically like on my forehead. I just feel like it looks not the most flattering. I mean, this is a massive, 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 like hockey puck, like I could hurt you with this kind of bronzer. And so I really wanted to love it. I'm almost wondering if this would be something that would be better to like sweep on my chest or something, but I just can't get on with this or feel like I really love it because it just feels too glowy for me. Obviously, it's the Luminous Silk bronzer, but I don't know, there's something about this that isn't wowing me, and I feel like it just looks too metallic. So let me know if you've tried this, if I'm kind of applying it wrong or what you think. But I also did pick up, and this was a while ago, but I thought I would share it. This is the YSL All Hours bronzer. Now I got the shade, what shade did I get? 03, and I like this, but I wish I would have gotten 02, like a lighter shade. This is pigmented. This is a soft formula, very pigmented. It almost reminds me, touching it, of like the House Labs, if you've ever felt that. Almost like this like creaminess to it. And I have no, complaints about this other than I wish I would have gotten a shade that wasn't as deep. Because this is so pigmented, I really have to be careful. I have to have like a self-tan on. I have to use a fluffy brush. I have to be very mindful. But this is, super expensive. So it's not something that I'm like, oh, let me just buy another shade. I have to say the packaging is a 10 out of 10. So I definitely like this and prefer it much more over the Armani. But the shade is just a little bit intense for me. So next I want to talk about blushes, and I have a lot to share. I'm sure you're not surprised. Lots of creams and liquids. So I want to start off with a formula that I love. I've raved about this, but I haven't actually talked about it, and when I hauled it, I haven't demoed it. I really want to soon, but I've talked about this in a favorites, but these Armani Liquid Luminous Silk blushes are stunning. The favorite blush formula of the year for me in terms of like new formulas I've tried. This formula is perfection. I can use these on my lips as well, so it's like a multi-use product. But what I find is super unique about these is the texture of them is so thin and lightweight, and they're not sticky at all. So because there is no tack in this formula, you can blend these out no problem, and then put your powder on top, and I have zero lifting with these on top of them, underneath them. There's just something so special about this formula. So the two shades I use the most are these two shades right here, which are 53 and 31. They remind me very much of the Dior shades, and I do like to mix these. I just think it's really beautiful to put a little bit of pink like closer to my eye area, and then put the kind of peachy shade back here. But I also bought the shade 62. Now this is definitely the most like neutral shade that I have. I feel like a lot of people would really like this shade. And then if you want a super pigmented shade, this shade is intense. Like the other shades are not quite as intense as this red, but literally the tiniest little dot, and this will give you like some punchy pigment. So I had to mention these because I did pick up all four. I just kept going back because once I used this formula, I was absolutely obsessed. But I picked up some blushes that remind me of these, or I thought they were going to be like these, and they are just not as good, and I'm a little disappointed. So I ended up going a little crazy, which again, I need to work on this, but purchasing multiple shades of a product I haven't even tried yet. But I got sucked in because truly I thought these were going to be just like the Armani. So I did pick up 3 of the YSL Make Me Blush liquid blushes. Honestly, these two shades were like screaming because I was like, I have to have them. Like, these shades are literally me. Now this formula, there's something off about it because I feel like it has that tack to it. So it's one of those that isn't the easiest to work with when you start introducing powder into the mix. If you're somebody that doesn't use powder or you don't set with powder heavily, you might be okay. But for me, I felt like I had lifting and patching when I tried to set this with powder. The doe foot is also kind of strange. It's like kind of hard. It just doesn't apply the product the best. I have to say the shades are so pretty, and I'm like bummed out that this formula isn't working for me like I thought it would. So I'm a little bit bummed about those. I love the shades, but they're just finicky to work with. And when I have stuff like the Armani that is just like blends like a dream, I really don't have the patience to deal with that. Now I did also pick up 2 other liquid blushes. There could be more down in my basket, but the ones I have here. So Cheryl was telling me that I needed this Cali Ray blurry blush. So I picked up the shade Epic, and this is supposed to be like a blurring formula. Now this is interesting because it is super pigmented. I mean, this shade right here is like Barbie doll, and it has this really nice, almost like moussey blend out. It kind of reminds me of like a cream to powder. Cheryl said she uses this on top of a set face, so I'm gonna have to try that out. But this shade looks stunning, and this seems like it would be a formula that would be better if you have like oily skin, combo skin, because it's not sticky. It has like that dried down feel to it. Like it almost feels like it's dried down to a powder. So I'm interested to give this a try. I've been like saving all of this for trying new makeup, and at this point we need like 10 trying new makeup videos to try all of this. But I'm excited to give this a go because she said she's like absolutely in love with it. And I told her she needs to try the Armani so that we can be even and see, you know, which liquid blush reigns supreme. I feel like I need to add a little bit of lip color because I'm losing my lipstick. So I'm just taking this Armani pink shade just to give me a little bit of color. I love these so much. I did also pick up one of the ABH blurring blushes in the shade Guava. So this is called the Blurring Serum Blush. Now I haven't had a chance to use this, but this shade just looked so pretty. It's an interesting feel because it has that like serum, like really glowy feel, but as you blend it out, it kind of morphs into like that, I would say like, I don't know, not powdery, but it's not super tacky. I haven't heard much about these, and I know we're like drowning in blushes, so I feel like this one just sort of kind of got hidden in all of the other launches, but I haven't really heard anybody like rave about it and say like, it's amazing. So if you've tried this, let me know because I am curious. I did also get one of the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop blush veils. Now this is when he launched his really bright colors. So I grabbed Paradise Pink. This formula is balmy. So it is definitely one of those that does not work the best with powder, and I would not like put powder on top of this. And I don't feel like this formula lasts super long. I just could not resist the color because the models looked absolutely stunning with this on. But again, I feel like we heard a lot of buzz about this Makeup by Mario collection, and then I haven't heard anything since. And I'm kind of like, that's a little bit strange because I feel like these shades are super beautiful and they're not something that you could like only use for the summertime. So I am interested to try this out for like maybe a Christmas look, a cold girl type of look, something like that. The last blushes that I have to share are actually powder formula. So these are the Fenty Beauty Suede powder blushes. So I picked up the shade Lollipoppy, which is a really beautiful matte, like punchy blush. I mean, this is super, super punchy. I have to be very careful with this shade. And then I did go back and get Bacon Cakes, which I thought was gonna be similar to maybe like the Patrick Ta, is it She's So LA? you know what? I feel like I'm losing literally my memory. I'm like, wait, what is it called? The really pretty like neutral shade. Now I will say this formula is not my favorite. It kind of can get a little bit patchy. When you look at it in the pan, like there's no powder. It almost has like a kind of slippery feel on the top. This shade I just didn't feel like was very flattering on my skin tone. I do like Lollipoppy just because the shade is gorgeous. I just have to use a fluffy brush and a light hand, and it does give me that like beautiful flush. So I don't think this is, again, like a standout formula for me. I know that there was some of the shades that were really like glimmery or glittery, and I just wasn't into that, so I opted for the matte shades. So I think these are okay, but they're not like wowing me. This next product was a recommendation from Cheryl, so I had to try it out. So this is the Say Swim Dew Bronzer. So I didn't know if I was gonna like this because Say can have products that are a little bit more hydrating and balmy. I mean, this does say dew in the actual name. So I opted to pass on it, but she was raving about it, so I went ahead and picked it up. I've been having issues lately with even powder bronzers getting patchy. I don't know if it's because I've been shaving my face, which I've been doing for years. I don't know what's going on, but even like my powder bronzer won't stick in certain areas. It's patching and lifting. I even had a little bit of that issue today on this side of my cheek. So I really don't know what's going on. I've added in a little bit of like AHAs and toners, and I don't know if that's doing it, but my skin is sort of like not behaving. So I was on the hunt for anything that wouldn't patch. So this is the shade Swim, which is the one she recommended. And it's interesting because it does have that like dewy formula, but it's very thin. So with a really light hand, I was able to use this and set it, and I had no problems. So I'm gonna continue to try this out, but this shade is really, really beautiful. It gives you a nice tan. I was gonna say glow, but actually gives you tan because I'm losing all of my color from the summer. I'm kind of going back to like, I'm gonna have to use self tanner, and I'm dreading, literally dreading the day. But this gives me that like faux tan, like I am tan when I'm really not. So I'm excited to keep trying this. She raves about it. So my first impression on it was good, but I have to keep testing it out to get like my full thoughts. So next I picked up this product from Kulfi Cosmetics, and I admittedly haven't tried much from them, but I saw this eyeshadow topper. It's kind of like a cream eyeshadow, and I had to have it. So this is in the shade Sona Sona. This just looked so beautiful. So this formula is sort of interesting because it definitely has that like creamy eyeshadow feel when you dip your finger in. Oh my God, look at that. That is so pretty. But when you start to blend it out, it has that like glittery feel, almost kind of like if you put an Urban Decay Space Cowboy with foil, like in a cream shadow. I mean, now that it's kind of dried down a little bit, I'm softening the edges. It's not getting patchy. So I'm interested to try this. I hope that it's one of those formulas that doesn't mess with your eyeshadow underneath, like make your, you know, powder go patchy or anything like that. But this shade, I mean, I just like could not resist. When I saw this, I was like, I need that in my cart right now. This next product, I haven't heard anyone talk about, so I really don't know if this is good. I haven't used it yet, but I had to pick this up because I'm a huge fan of Freck. I love the Freck moisturizer. I've gone through so many of those. So this is the Face Hack Blur and Bond Setting Spray. So this is supposed to set your makeup. It's supposed to lock it in, but it also is supposed to blur the skin. The directions on how to use this is to shake well, hold 6 to 8 inches from face, and then mist all over before, during, and after makeup application. So that's kind of interesting because at that rate, you know, we're gonna go through this like water. So I do wanna test the claims out on this. Again, I've heard no one talk about this, although Freck is not a brand that's super hyped. I feel like their lip liners that are incredible are probably the first product that I've heard like other people even mention. So I feel like they're kind of gaining a little bit of traction. But when I saw this and I saw Blur, I was like, excuse me, what? I don't know if I believe that a setting spray can really like blur the skin, but you know what? I'm willing to try. Moving on next to lip products. Yeah, we're kind of back there. We started with the lip products in the sets, then we went through some other stuff, and now we're circling back because you know that I bought more lip products. It is a sickness. I need help, okay? But so I did end up getting one of the Fenty Beauty lip liners. I did get the shade, what is it? Satin Panty. Now this is a very creamy, very pigmented, long wearing formula. I feel like this is a really nice formula. I really don't have any complaints about it other than it does get a little bit heavy or chunky on me in the corners of my mouth, and it also tends to wear down really quickly. So it's kind of something that you apply it once or twice and then you have to sharpen it. So I do feel like you may go through it quickly, and I just feel like there's other formulas that I really enjoy. So I think, again, I'm having a lot of products that are kind of in the good category. Like, they're good, I like them, but I'm not like blown away. I do think the shade is really pretty though. And then I did pick up this new product from Refi. So this is the Blur Liner. I got the shade Opal. Now the whole, I guess, idea of this is that it's sheer, so it's going to swatch horribly. But the whole point of it is to kind of use it like on your lip line, but also almost like you would use a, I guess, like a contour where you put it blurred around the edges of your lip and then blend it in. So it gives you like that no makeup look. So this I'm interested to try. I feel like it may be a little bit weird for me because my lips are like, I have a defined Cupid's bow, and that's kind of how I line my lips. So this would be more of like a, I guess, not defined look, and I don't really know how to do that with my lips, but I do want to try it out. I've been seeing some people rave about it on TikTok. I mean, it definitely is pretty sheer. So I think that's why it is that blur formula, because you can blur it out and you don't have to be careful, whereas something like the Fenty is like super pigmented. So interested to try this, but if you've tried any of these, let me know down below because I always want to know what you guys think about them too. Now, in terms of lipsticks, I did buy a couple repurchases after I tried one shade and really fell in love with the formula. So I did grab 2 more of the satin lipsticks from Makeup by Mario. So I started out this video wearing a little bit of Midtown, which is a really pretty, like, light pinky nude. This formula is really nice because it is hydrating. It has that satin finish. It's just really creamy, but also very thin, which to me just feels much more comfortable, and it's better for layering, and we all know I love to layer glosses on top. I did also pick up the shade Bronx Baby. I haven't worn this yet. I think one reason I struggle, I always put on like a really bright blush, and then when I get to my lips, I'm like, oh, like I can't do anything too intense because I don't want it to compete with my cheeks. I need to work on that, like getting some more neutral blushes so that I can play more with deeper colors and brighter colors, but people seem to love this shade. So I went ahead and picked it up to try it out. So I really like that formula. And then for something that's super long wear, but comfortable, I am obsessed with this formula from ABH. This is the Lip Velvet. So I picked up 2 more shades. I absolutely love the ones I have. I have Kiss, and then I can't remember the other shade, but this formula is perfection to me. I love like a whipped soft matte formula. So I picked up Peachy Nude and then also Pink Sand. I actually went in store for these because online I felt like they were looking a little bit deep, or I didn't know if I would like them. But when I swatched them, I was like, oh yeah. So this is a kind of moussey, powdery formula. I love formulas like this because I just apply it to the center of my lip. I blend it out with my finger and it lasts all day. I don't have to babysit. It layers well. It doesn't have that like dry, crusty feel. I just love formulas like this so much. So I had to get those, and I actually just saw that they came out with, I think, 4 more like deeper grungy shades, and I bought 2. So I'm waiting on those. But you know what? When I love something, I love it, and I have to get like literally every shade. So love that formula. A formula that I think is okay, and I'm not really like, wow, but I know a lot of people love it, is this Fenty Beauty, and this is the High Shine Gloss Sticks. Now, I think the formula is really pretty, but I think the reason I don't love this is because it just wears off so fast. I love that it has pigment to it and it smells incredible. Like some sort of like fruitiness, super high shine. I tend to prefer something that is going to hang on longer. So this type of formula, even like the Makeup by Mario plumping lip serums, they're so pretty, but they just wear off so fast. And for me, I feel like I have to babysit it, and that's just not something I like, but I know a lot of people do. So I think this formula is really nice. I think it's just my personal preference, but I got the color 2 Lip Kiss. So again, it's really, really beautiful, but I feel like within 30 minutes it's worn off. And I'm just like, where did my lip color go? So it's just not the perfect formula for me. But I did pick up this gloss, and I originally didn't really love the formula. I was kind of like, it's okay. But I saw someone wearing this on TikTok and I had to get it. So this is the Armani lip gloss, and I got the shade 03 Prisma Glass, I think is the name. This is like a peachy shade. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. It has like that peachy, but almost like leaning like bronzy tone to it, and it has a little bit of shimmer in it. I mean, I guess why not? Let's just apply this. So I saw someone use this on TikTok and I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. And it is really pretty. Has more of like a gel feel to it, so it's not my favorite formula, but I had a moment of weakness. What do these smell like? I don't smell anything. Yeah, you know what? I had a moment of weakness, and sometimes I'm like, you know what, Babs? Put your phone away. Because when I have these like moments where I'm like, I don't need this, but I buy it, I usually end up like, yeah, it's pretty, but I don't know if I'm like in love, and I think it's pretty, but I don't know if it's like warranting like, you know, the price tag on it. So I don't know. I got sucked in. I mean, it is a pretty gloss. It does have this like unique tone to it, because I feel like usually peachy is like coral pinky peach, but this actually has like that really true peach tone to it. So you know what? I went ahead and purchased it, and it's pretty. It is what it is. I did also get this In Beauty Project. This is the Sun Balm SPF Lip Balm in pink. Now I purchased this because when I was on Sephora, it looked really pigmented, and I love that. I will say that this is a pigmented formula. It's pretty pigmented for a lip balm. You really don't find lip balms that are pigmented like this, but this applicator gets disgusting. Like, it looks like it's been through, you know, a lot. Okay, she's been through it, and I'm like, I've only used this like 5 times. It's kind of a weird formula. I don't know if I love it, because I feel like it sort of like smears around and it almost looks a little bit uneven on the lips, and I think maybe that is because it is pigmented, but it's just kind of this strange formula where I'm kind of undecided. I much prefer the lip oils from them. They are so good. This, I don't know how I feel. So it's something I tried. I think it's pretty because it's pigmented, but just not a formula that I really feel like is standing out to me. And the last lip product I want to talk about today, and I think I'm going to end it because I am truly looking at about an hour of footage now. So I just know this is going to be a huge video, and I will probably just talk about the other products in my next haul, because you know I'm still buying stuff, which, you know, I need my head checked. But I did pick up 2 of the Dior lip balms, and I got the lilac, and then I also got this like baby blue shade. I want to try on the lilac today because these are more of a sheer formula. Oh yeah, they have like a minty smell. I think these are supposed to be kind of like a glossy, refreshing, plumping formula. Ooh, that is pretty though. It's very, very sheer, but it did give me like a little bit of that lilac tint. I'd seen a lot of people using this one, again, on TikTok, and it just gave them like this really pretty milky blue tone. This is actually prettier than I thought. I feel like this gave me kind of what I wanted that Kosas to give me, just a little bit of that like milky tone. And I know this comes in like pink and so many other shades, but something about the lilac just spoke to me. So I think it's really pretty, but of course, the price tag on this, you know what? I need to delete the Sephora app in my phone. I think that's really honestly the only solution to this. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to end the haul there for today. I went over a good like 30 products. So I don't want this video to be too long. So I will just include the other products in my next Sephora haul. I know that the Sephora sale is coming up. The dates were just announced. So I'm going to be trying all these products, trying new makeup videos with you guys because I really want to get my thoughts on them to give you recommendations for the sale. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you've picked up recently and what products you want me to review the most. That's super helpful to me because I'm looking at like 10 different blushes and wondering which one you guys want me to demo. So any feedback in the comments would be great. Thank you for being patient with me. And if you stuck around and watched this whole video, honestly, I appreciate you so much. So everything will be linked down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.